So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall 2 steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. I'm super excited tonight. This is a special edition on a Tuesday night. We normally air on Thursdays. It's special because of Marcy McDonald. She is here with us tonight. She is in the green room waiting, clawing at the screen. Let me in, Brian. I want to talk. And oh boy, are we going to let her talk, because she brings with her a wealth of experience, and she is a mindset expert. And you'll notice by the first word of the name of this very show, it's the Mind, Body, Business Show, the word mind. Well, yeah, that's exactly what that is all about, is mindset. And that's where I came up with the idea of this show. Is not because I had this epiphany. It was because I studied successful people. For a period of about a decade, I was very focused on just looking at and discerning what is it that successful people do that are getting them to a level of success that was, say, greater than where I was. And these 3 pillars kept floating to the top each and every time of every individual that I studied. And that first one was the biggest and most important, and that was their mindset. And that is, to a person, they each had a very powerful, positive, you hear this all the time, but the most important aspect is a flexible mindset on top of all that. And then body is literally that they take care of themselves, or took care of themselves. For those that are no longer with us, they took care of themselves and take care of themselves nutritionally and physically. Yes, you know, that 4-letter word called exercise. And you all are saying, no, that's not 4 letters. That's right. And business is multifaceted. To a person, each of these very successful people had mastered the skill sets that are necessary to build and grow and scale a thriving and successful business. Skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could keep going a long time. The good news is, well, for one, to master anyone's skill set can take a good deal of time. It's like becoming an expert at anything takes, I forget what the number is, on average 10,000 hours or something, a focused effort. Well, it's the same thing with mastering the skill set. Good news is you don't have to master every skill set that there is to build a successful business. And the ones I just mentioned is just a tiny subset. And you don't even have to master all those. If you just mastered one, then the rest can be leveraged in. And that one skill set, if you were to master it and focus on it first, is the skill set of, anybody want to know? Drum roll. Leadership. Yes, leadership. Even if you don't have a team currently, even if you are a solopreneur, it is imperative that you begin building your own leadership skills, leading yourself. Ooh, yeah, there's a concept. And so there are many, many books on this topic. I recommend that you get every book you can and read it. And we'll have a little segment about that in just a moment. And that literally is what the key to success is: mind, body, and business. All 3 together. In fact, I just finished writing the last word of my brand new book that's coming out, Mind, Body, Business. Not available now. You can't find it anywhere because it hasn't gone through any of the processes, editing and all that. But I started it over a decade ago with this whole concept in mind, because it is true. These are the components of the successful people that I personally studied and got mentored by, read books from, you name it. And speaking of reading books, that is another incredible trait and quality I found to be common amongst the very successful people. And that is, to a person, they also were very avid readers of books, and not just any books, but books that help them to move forward in whichever way they wanted to move forward in their lives. And with that, I'd like to segue very briefly into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
Yes, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Now, I said that slow on purpose for those of you watching live on video, and maybe if you're watching recorded video, but especially for those that are listening on podcast. I want to make sure you get these down. And another word of advice real quick, when you hear about these kind of resources, because I'll tell you, Marcy McDonald is going to be laying on you several resources. It happens every time I know it. And they will be in the form of websites, maybe books and different things, maybe programs she offers. Instead of going off and taking your focus away from her, especially when she's talking, instead of taking your focus away from her and running off and looking at these resources while the show's going on, I implore of you, please instead take notes. Write the information down. Write down reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Get used to it. Practice it now. Get that pen and paper. Pull up your notepad on your computer, whatever it takes. Write it down and then visit the resources after the show is over. And why am I making such a big deal of this? It is because I've spoken from stage for years, and I've been teaching advanced techniques when it comes to mindset. I'm so excited that Marcy's here. And I would get to the point where I know it had a high impact on my life personally when I first learned it. And I'd see somebody get up and walk out because they got that all important text message, or they got that phone call they just could not ignore, and they had to leave the room. And that was the moment that could have changed their life for the better forever. And it made me feel horrible. So I began letting people know ahead of time, you want to stay in the room because the magic happens in the room. And by that, I mean, keep your focus on Marcy McDonald when she comes on, because she's coming on next, right? Like very, very soon. So get ready, get that notepad ready. And I hope you get writer's cramp, because typically I do. I take notes. I'm running the whole thing. I'm taking notes. So I'm not asking you to do anything I wouldn't do. Reach Your Peak Library, getting back to that is a resource that I had built by my team, literally with you in mind, because personally, I was not an avid reader until about 11 years ago, around the age of 47. Yes, you're all doing the math. You get it. And I found that it was a life-changing habit to get into. And so what you see scrolling up on the screen, if you're watching this on video, are all the books that, not all of them actually, but a handful of books that I personally have read and I vet, meaning they had a profound impact on either my personal life, my professional life, or both. And I put them in this list. So not every book I've ever read is in this list. And to be honest, I'm way behind in adding the remainder. I've read many more than are in this list that do qualify. And it's just here for you to have a quick place to go and know that at least one other successful person vetted these books. Find the book you like, go get it anywhere you want to get your books at, wherever you get your books at. If it's Amazon, in fact, all these buttons go to Amazon. If you don't want to buy it from this site, that's okay. This is not for the purpose of my company making money. It's for the purpose of giving you a resource that you can use to catapult your business and your personal life to the next level. That's it. There is no ulterior motive whatsoever. So go there, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Pick the first book that jumps off the page. They're in there in no rhyme or reason. They're not alphabetical. They're just thrown in there as I said, here, add this one. Here's the next one to my team, and they would throw them in there. So go ahead, check that out after the show's over, because it is that happy time. We are going to bring on the most amazing, incredible individual you are going to meet in a long, long time. Her name is Marcy McDonald. Let's bring her on.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Marcy McDonald. Woohoo!
I've been clawing my way to get on the screen here, talking to you people.
I see the scratch marks. That's pretty neat. Oh, oh my goodness. I'm so excited because of your genius, your experience, your background. You're a mindset expert. You're an amazing mom of kids and of pets, and you're just incredible all the way around, and what you do and how you go about your life and how you serve others. I'm duly impressed, and I cannot wait to share you with everybody. Oh, this is going to be so fun, because everyone that watches and listens to this show will get something from it that can and will change your life for the better. And I kid you not. And so it's that important. See, it even made me lose my voice very, very briefly because I'm all choked up. This is going to be awesome. And so, Marcy, we know putting on a show takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it does take some money. And on that note, it's time to real quick take care of, we always say housekeeping. I'm going to say bookkeeping. And then we're going to do a few words from our sponsor, and then we'll bring you on and we're going to have a fantastic show. So everybody hang tight. Don't go anywhere. And Marcy and I will be right back. Hey, if you're watching the Mind Body Business Show live right now, then you will have the ability to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort of your choosing, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. What is it? It is a 5-night vacation stay to one of many destinations across the world. You can see as we go through this very quickly, there's some in Branson and Daytona Beach. These are in the United States, all over the United States, New Orleans, San Diego. There's also Mexico. There's also the UK and Argentina. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. Australia. At the end of this show, you will be given the ability to enter to win. You must be watching this live. If you're not watching live, then head on over to themindbodybusinessshow.com and register to receive automated notifications when we go live the next time. We do not spam. We do not even pitch any products or anything from that notification. It's just simply a way for you to know that we're live, and now you can join us, and you can also participate in this incredible prize, and you do not want to miss this. So come on live, and you do not want to miss a moment because of our incredible guest experts, and we will reveal that at the very end. And if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people and grow your business all at the same time, then write this down, carpetbombmarketing.com. Then head on over to it after the conclusion of tonight's show. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And to get a free lifetime membership to a phenomenal resource called the Reach Your Peak Club, your free membership will include instant access to deep discounts on major software, services, and top shelf training courses that you need to run your successful business. Think of it as your entrepreneur discount house. Catapult your business to the next level. Sign up for free now and get a hotel discount card worth $200 just for joining. Then go and grab your deep discount. So write this down, and then after the show, once again, head on over to reachyourpeakclub.com. All right, now let's get back to the show. Yes, at last, let's get back to the show. My gosh, that guy just kept yammering and yammering. It is time to introduce this amazing young woman to you, formally and officially. She is the amazing Marcy McDonald. Mindset coach Marcy McDonald is the daughter of a genius father and a schizophrenic but loving mother. So she began life with an unusual gene pool that shows in her professional and personal experience. That is amazing already. She's worked at a 6-figure corporate job, and she's hauled pounds of avocados on her back. She's dined in 5-star restaurants in Paris, and she's lived on beans and rice. She's lived in a house worth more than $500,000, and she's lived out of her car. She's had ups and downs and everything in between on life's journey. She believes that if she was able to learn how to be emotionally healthy, to be intentional about her purpose, and be happy every day, then anyone can. Yes, a participant in season 2 of the reality show on TV called 4 Days to Save the World, Marcy is also an international best-selling author and an internationally certified End of Life Doula. And by combining her neurologically based exercises with the urgency that comes from looking closely at your own death, she has created a practical and powerful program that enables entrepreneurs to stop wasting time and start making money by focusing on what really matters. Oh, powerful. That is Marcy McDonald, mindset expert. Welcome to the show, Marcy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm outstanding, Brian, and thanks so much for having me on this very important show.
Oh my goodness. And it will be so important for those of you watching and listening. I kid you not. And let's just dive into it. I cannot wait to look in deep into that big, beautiful brain of yours, Marcy, because we were talking just before the show and we both agree emphatically about the fact that everyone's current degree of success, amount or quantity of success that they currently have or are lacking is 100% not due to any outside factors. It's 100% due to what's going on between their two ears in their brain and no one else's. And the beautiful thing is once you really internalize and realize that that is the true fact, and now you'll start taking action on improving your mindset, watch your life change. And Mary's going to show us how that all works as we talk through this show. And I wanted to find out from you, Marcy, you've been really, did I just say Mary?
Yes, you did, but I forgave you instantly.
I was like,
because I'm emotionally healthy, I'm not taking it personally.
I just noticed like something felt wrong just a moment ago. What was that? So I'm sorry, Marcy.
It's fine.
I could say, man, I sure hope your middle name's Mary. Yes, we do have fun on the show as well, especially when Brian's a goofball. So, Marcy, when you get up in the morning, so you've been through a lot. You've been through the ups and downs, and that's what makes you so strong. That's what makes you the perfect person to help others to develop the mindset that's required to live a wonderful, empowered life. And so when you get up in the morning knowing what is ahead of you every single day, because let's face it, being an entrepreneur isn't just swinging on a hammock with an umbrella drink and watching the money just pour in. It's anything but. And so there are things that we must do every single day that are considered arduous and things we don't want to do. There are many more things we love doing. That's why we do it. But for you, when you get up in the morning, what is going through in your beautiful brain that is keeping you driven? What's the thought patterns that are happening that are keeping you excited and driven and keeping going every single day, day in and day out, knowing what you've been through and what is still lying ahead of you each and every day?
Brian, you have to understand that I start each day pretty much the same way because I've learned that how you begin your morning helps you set up your day. So I start with a gratitude list before I even get out of bed. And then I get up and I do usually morning Tai Chi and stretching as the sun is rising, then walk my dog. So by then, and as I walk my dog, I do what I call Zen dogging. I had to come up with a term for it, which is just being present with your dog and whatever your dog is doing. Might be peeing, it might be sniffing, it might be stopping, it might be trotting. You just stay with your dog with that. And it gets you completely in the present, because I used to walk my dog and I'd be thinking, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And did I remember to do this? And oh my gosh, I'm behind in this, and not be present. So I created Zen dogging, where I'm just fully there during those moments. And by then, with those rituals, I'm really ready to jump into my day. And to top it off, I'm extremely happy and grateful that I get that day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think, wow, I'm so fortunate to be here and to have this. And that keeps me grateful throughout the day and motivated. Because yes, being an entrepreneur is a long, lonely road. And it's full of bricks and rocks and glass and stuff that we tend to throw in our own pathway, right? It's not a straightforward path, but if you've got your head set straight, then you're clearing that pathway. So even if things come up, you know how to deal with them. So that might be a little longer than you wanted, but too bad.
No, you know what? If I ask one question, you fill the rest of the show with the answer, I am absolutely fine with it. This show is about you, not about me. And I appreciate your knowledge and wisdom. And that's why I have people like you on the show, is to share you, not for, Brian. Everyone's going to think, well, you just talked for the first half of the show, Brian. And what are you talking about? No, I get it. But all this is about Marcy and your brilliance and your genius. And I love the fact that you start out with a routine, a regimen. And I found this to be true of many, many successful entrepreneurs, that they all seem to a person to have a routine, something that they do every single day. And many of them, the more successful of them, seem to include gratitude in there. And my ears got big when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason you are where you are. And the stretching, so you do mind with gratitude, stretching, there's body, and then walking the dog. The dog's taking care of their business. Oh, I had to get that in there. So, but I love how you just said that, Zen dogging, because I used to have a dog a long time ago, and it would walk me and I would be upset, internally, and it would have to stop to do its business. And I'm like kind of nudging it to like, let's go, come on, finish it off. Let's move. Let's keep moving, and I love that. I wish I had learned that before. We don't have any pets anymore at this time, but that's a great advice, is to be in the moment, not just for the dog, but it's also for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, it completely changes what happens to you and with you and for you during that walk. Doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, but you will see things that you normally wouldn't see, and you'll feel things that you wouldn't have otherwise, because being mindful, having an emotionally healthy mindset means that you're actually fully in the space and the time that you're in. You're not up in your head. I used to be so in my head, Brian, sorry to interrupt you, but I'd be so in my head that I'd drive somewhere, like I'd drive my son to school, a route I'd take, years on end, and I'd suddenly look up and say, oh my God, we're lost. Did I take a wrong turn? And my son would roll his eyes and say, Ma, we're on the same road. But I would be so in my head, I would forget that I was in my body, in my car, with my son, with the same things going by. That wasn't healthy. I get lost a lot.
I think we've all been there, or the opposite would happen, where you get in the car and then suddenly you're at your destination. You don't remember taking a single turn to get there, because you're in a state of, we call it hypnosis. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. We won't go down that path, but it's a state of hypnosis. It's fantastic. It can be. It's not probably all that safe if you're driving and you don't know how you got there. It's like, I don't know if I'd practice that for driving, but I love the fact that it's you're fully in the space. And how has that impacted you now when it comes to being there for and with your clients? I can only imagine that's just had incredible benefits for you and for them.
I don't see how anybody can coach if they're not fully present, honestly. And, you asked part of your question about how I get going. Part of it is the impact that I can have on the people I work with. Because the truth is, Brian, I change lives. And when I change lives, then there's a ripple effect, because those people can then change lives. They can have the impact they intend to have, they want to have, because they've cleared out the junk in their heads. So that is a powerful motivator for me to get through some of the stuff that I would prefer not to do as a business owner, because that's where it gets me to. And I kind of diverted you from whatever your question was, because I've been meaning to answer that. So can you bring me back? Yeah, thanks.
No, you already have taken care of it in more ways than one. Oh, Anna Williams. You have a friend here. Hello, Marcy.
Hi,
Anna Williams. And she said, Marcy is one of the most profound, phenomenal, extraordinary, monumental coaches I met. She has mastered her work. She is an amazing, impactful, brilliant coach and mentor. Congratulations, Marcy. Thank you, Anna, for Marcy. That is amazing. And I can just tell, so well deserved. So well deserved. The fact that you just came on, Marcy, and you said something that really opened my eyes and made me happy. You proclaimed that you change lives. A lot of people don't want to come on and admit that, because they don't think they have that kind of power. You do. Every human has that power. Every human that we come into contact, you've changed their lives, either for the good or for the bad, or neutral. I mean, that could be. We're all changing lives, but very few want to admit that they are in the process, are acting on changing lives as part of what they do for their living, for their business. And I think that's phenomenal that you just came out and said that without missing a beat. It was part of your sentence, as natural as it came. And that tells me about the mindset work you have done yourself, for yourself, and also the kind of greatness that you will instill upon others, and that you are changing lives, everyone you work with, because of who you've become. That's what I love about what we get to do being entrepreneurs. We help people because of who we've become. And so the question to everyone out watching and listening is, who have you become that can be used to serve others? to impact others. You all have something in you right now. I'm not challenging anybody to become something new or different. You've already done it. What is it? What is that one thing that you could use to help and serve others? Maybe it's past experiences, good or bad. Maybe it's lifelong working on yourself and mindset, like Marcy, maybe going through struggles and living with parents at different ends of the spectrum mentally. I mean, it's just, there's so many great things out of this. I'm just babbling, but it's just an observation. That was very powerful and profound that you kind of slipped that in there, but it was natural for you. And I commend you for that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. It's a treasure, really, if you think of it that way. It's like, I have gone through hell and back. Okay, sometimes with a sense of humor, sometimes not. But through it all, I've been blessed to have reached a point where I did do the work myself and it stuck because of how I did it, because of the mindset piece. I tried for years to, be happier, be healthier, be physically, mentally, spiritually better, but nothing ever stuck, Brian. And I tried everything. I tried yoga, I tried Tai Chi. Well, I still do Tai Chi, but it didn't have that same impact. I tried meditation. I tried chanting. I tried hiking and chanting while hiking. I tried drinking. That definitely didn't work. I mean, I tried lots of things, but it wasn't until I started to understand how my brain works that I realized why it is what I've been trying wasn't sticking. And that was so powerful. Unbelievable. I mean, it just flipped the switch for me completely. And so then all those things I'd gone through, the ups, the downs, as you said in my bio, all those things came together so that I can be present with pretty much anybody. It doesn't matter, have I gone through what they've gone through or have I not? I understand what's going on in their mind and I hear them speak about themselves in ways they can't hear. And that enables me to hold up a completely different mirror to them than they've ever had before. It's a mirror with light in it instead of with dark in it.
Oh, okay. I have to. That's a bomb dropping moment if there ever was one, because you are dropping some serious knowledge bombs and bombs of wisdom. Marcy McDonald, my goodness. Understand how your brain works. Did everybody hear that? That is key number one. And then you take it to the next step. Now that you understand how it works, through leadership, through Marcy, is now change what is going on in your brain for the better for you, and change your language, change what you're saying. Aren't we all our own worst enemy, Marcy? I know you know that from all your work with people. And isn't it interesting that it takes someone outside of us to alert us to the fact of what we're doing? That is why it's so important, everybody, to find somebody, a mentor, someone like Marcy, to help you get through this. You cannot do this on your own. It is so vitally important that you get help, whether it be through Marcy or someone else. Marcy, I can imagine, she's the best place to start. Go with Marcy. And we'll give you ways to connect with her later, because look, this could be the most important decision of your life. And that's just to reach out and say hi to her and see if you're a fit. Period. I know nothing about her business model at this moment. We're going to find out. Oh, yeah, we're going to find out. But I can already tell right now, Marcy is someone who wants you to get the results you're looking for in your life. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to work with somebody like that? She's in your corner. She's like your coach. She'll lift you up, probably throw some sprinkle of discipline when she sees something that you're doing wrong for the second or third time. But that won't go on very long, because Marcy's a coach. She'll figure it out and smack you around. Not physically, but she'll lovingly redirect your actions to the point where you get the results you came for. I'm probably speaking way out of turn on how Marcy operates, but
no, you're not. Without judgment. I think that's one of the most important things to remember, is we're judging ourselves all the time.
Ooh,
and if I might, I'll just tell a little story that exemplifies what you were saying about why you need someone outside yourself, is because of how used to what we're telling ourselves we get. So here's a story that models that. So a few years back, my son and I bought an avocado ranch together, and we had a giant Quonset hut for all the tools and equipment, and also the washing machine and dryer. which were set up so that when you open the doors, they banged into all the tools. So you'd haul your laundry down there and try to wrestle the door open and squeeze the laundry in. And then you'd pull it out and drop it on this filthy floor with all the tools and avocado stuff, and then shove it into the dryer. And every time I did it, I would be cursing to myself, saying, this stupid dryer, you know. And I did that for like 3 months. And then one day I thought, oh, wait a minute. I own this washer and dryer. I don't have to keep it where it is. I could actually just move it. I can move it so the door doesn't bang into the tools, but opens up freely, where I can put stuff in and out without it falling on the floor. And it's the perfect example of how our brains work. We're so used to this stuff. We're used to banging around. We're used to dropping stuff on the floor. We're used to feeling bad about ourselves, but we don't notice it. But in that moment, when you suddenly say, wait a minute, I own this stuff. I can change this stuff. I just have to look at it a different way and try something different. And if that doesn't work, I just try something else without any judgment. Boom, your entire life can change then. But it usually takes someone else stepping in to say, hey, hello, have you noticed that you've just called yourself stupid 5 times in our conversation? Or I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and the host said, oh, I'm really nosy. That's why I do this. And I said, do you mind if I reframe that? Because nosy is a negative term you're using to describe yourself for your entire business. And I know you're kind of joking, but it's negative. Somewhere back in your history, someone told you you were nosy, and you've internalized it, and you don't even know you're doing it. It's just like that washing machine. You can move that, reframe it, say it to yourself differently so it's true. I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Yes.
I'm a lifelong learner. Wow, how different does that feel than saying I'm nosy? I'm a lifelong learner. I'm nosy. Which would you rather take? Well, move things around, find the truth in it, and you can completely change every single day of your life.
Totally agree. And yeah, I used to teach similar concept on stage. It's like, so the bottom line, everybody, is you have a choice. You are not handed a predetermined destination in your life. You have a choice to direct which way you want it to go. You can either, and this is what we'd say from stage, you can either let circumstances control your attitude, or you can let your attitude dictate your circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we are all going to be faced with circumstances that are less than pleasurable. We all have already. It's just, how do you react to them? That's when your choice truly matters. And what Marcy is saying is, change the words of what you're telling yourself in your self-talk and watch your life change for the better. It doesn't take much, but it is so true. We are the ones kicking ourselves in the butt over and over and over for little things that really we should be praising ourselves for. So, you know, I used to be a certified personal trainer, and I'd get clients and they'd go and I'd say, okay, do 10 push-ups, and they'd do 4 and they'd get up and they are just beating themselves up verbally. Like, what are you doing? What's wrong? He goes, I didn't get 10. And I said, stop right there. Take that hand, turn it backward, reach back behind yourself, pat yourself on the back and say, good job for doing as many as you could. Great job. You did 4. Next time we may do 4 again. Certainly soon you'll do 5 and then more, but never kick yourself for putting in the effort, ever. And so things like that, it's just changing and reframing, as you so expertly said, Marcy. Speaking of expert, my goodness. Oh, yes, Anna. Thank you. Marcy is certainly changing my life as my coach. This is Anna Williams talking. I am so thankful for her. She is a genius like her father. She is very unique in her mastery. I am being stretched and challenged from my experience. And Anna saying, hi, Brian Kelly. Anna Williams here. It's my pleasure and delight to be here this evening. Thank you for being here, Anna, and for engaging. And if you have questions for Marcy, or you can put up a quick, it's got to be quick. I got to be able to read it. But, you know, something that stands out that Marcy has done to impact your life in that incredible positive way. And it's obvious to me, Marcy, is doing this for more than just one person. It's obvious to me that she is changing lives. She said, "Oh, this is awesome." So I'm having a great time. Oh, Don Hoperich, how are you doing, my friend? He's a local guy here close to me, Chamber of Commerce, runs Chamber, another wonderful, heartfelt human being. Thanks for coming on, Don.
Hey, Don.
Yeah, and so goodness sakes. Woo, so much. Okay, let's shift gears just a hair. And yeah, I'm curious about this. So in my opening, we talked about mind, body, and business. And on the body side of things, there is this thing called fitness, physical fitness. Many people kind of cringe when they hear that. It doesn't need to be arduous, doesn't mean that you have to be working out to become a bodybuilder like Arnold or a supermodel like Cheryl Teagues or whoever from way back in the day. It's just about staying fit and healthy. For you, Marcy, in your life, how important has physical fitness been to you? And have you been on the side where you don't feel so fit versus the side where you have been fit? And what's the difference been if that's been the case?
Let's see. Well, physical fitness is super important to me because I think when you're physically fit, you just naturally have more energy, you feel better about yourself, and you can keep doing things that you like. So I'm a big fan. I work out regularly, and have for decades. But there was that moment when I looked at my body and said, didn't used to be so difficult to do this stuff. And I had to make a conscious decision to begin working out because it wasn't coming naturally. And then I kept that up for a long time. And when I hit a peak in my corporate career, at that peak, I was working 80 to 90 hours a week. It was a super demanding job. And I realized, hey, the old fitness has traded itself in for a glass of wine as soon as I get home for my 4 hours before I get up again and do this all again. And I had to make a decision to figure out how to fit fitness into my life. So I started what I called the in-betweens, an in-between attitude. So I put weights by my desk. And if I had a few moments before meetings, and typically I had people lined up on my door waiting to talk to me, but if I had a few minutes, I would just, even if I got 3 reps, like you said, it would be more than I was doing before. And I shifted to taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Yeah. I started parking my car farther away at the grocery store. So I just fit it in. When I put on the kettle for tea in the morning, even now, I'll do push-ups on the cabinet on the counter. I'll do a series of, hip lifts or whatever. You can fit a lot in while you're waiting for your coffee to percolate or whatever. I work with a great fitness expert, a guy named Dean Hodgkin, who is in London. And he's the one who first said to me, hello, you could be fitting this stuff in, just here and there. Just even stop using the remote, get up and change the channels on your TV. Just the simple things. Yeah.
I remember when we had to do that. I'm old enough to remember that. Get up and actually turn this dial, and it only had 20 total channels, but only 13 of them or 10 of them worked. And
yeah. So yes, it's super important to me. And I had surgery last fall on my foot. And so I've been in a long period of recovery, but as soon as I could, I actually started working out. I had to sit down. I was just my upper body. But the fact is, it keeps your brain going, your juices flowing. It's essential.
Yeah. And I had a good friend of mine help me coin this phrase. It was actually, he did it and he said, you can use it. And he said, your mind and body are a team. More importantly, they are your team. And they literally are joined in that what is going on in your mind affects your body, and literally what's going on in your body, meaning are you relieving it of stress, are you taking care of it, are you getting nutrition, it affects your mind. So you cannot have one operating at a peak level of performance without the other. It cannot work. It's impossible. And a lot of people say, well, hey, I can forego that. I can work out and then I'll go eat a gallon of ice cream. It's like, that doesn't work with the body part either. So you can't have two things not working. So you need to work on both at all times. And yeah, as you get older, oh my gosh, I had surgery on this shoulder, then on this shoulder. This is when I was a certified personal instructor and all that. And I just like, I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. What do I do? So I used my legs, and then my legs started bothering me. I'm getting older. Now my shoulder's back. So I gained, like so many people. I went through a lot of personal things recently, and I let myself go completely. I was working too much, just like you mentioned, 80, 90 hours. I don't know how many hours. I didn't even quantify it. It was too many, but I had a lot of stress going on in my personal life with my family. And I let myself go in every which way. Drank too much, ate too much. I gained I was bigger and heavier than I've ever been in my life by far. And I finally just said, it's time to hit the reset button, and did. And now I'm down 20 pounds. I'm going to have 10 more after that, but this is my first goal. I'm going to celebrate this. Yep. I'm going to celebrate and say, you bet. Oh boy, am I going to celebrate. And I haven't touched any alcohol in that 2 months. It's never been an issue with me. It was a crutch that made me, get the edge off. But if I drank, I wanted to eat more snacks, and it just was this vicious, horrible thing. And so I started working out to lose weight in the beginning. And I worked out viciously for the first week. I did a great job, but then my shoulders started hurting, and I got it checked. Said, stop working out upper body. Like, what? So I got on the treadmill and started running. We had one in the house, and my knees started killing me. It's like, come on. And so I literally just got home today from getting an injection in my knee. And it's literally, they take the blood out of you, your own blood, put it in a centrifuge that creates plasma, and it's very enriched, and they inject it back into your knee. Many athletes have had it done. So I'm excited. So I'm going to be able to run again here real soon. I can still run. It just hurts. And then the shoulder, I'm going through physical therapy. So the whole thing is just do what it takes to keep moving, to keep moving, and also mentally. So, even if you're having difficulty with joints, find a pool, jump in, something that's low impact, bicycles, stationary or otherwise. Treadmill actually has some impact. So I don't have a bicycle in the house or one to ride around the neighborhood. So anyway, I went off on a big tangent there, but everything you're saying is right on point about, getting fit, staying fit, and that it feeds the brain and it helps you perform at a higher level overall. And one final note is a guy came on my show a while back and said their tip or one thing they did was before they do an arduous task, that's when they choose to work out, because then that arduous task becomes that much simpler and gets done quicker. And you just said, so, yeah. And I've done that where I've worked out right before the show, episodes of the show. Sometimes I'd be kind of lethargic and tired due to all this stuff I've been going through. And I said, I'm just going to do a quick workout, and it just revives you. It's the best drug on the planet with no side effects.
Absolutely. Just a quick note about a client I had who was overweight and was struggling with her weight. But that wasn't why she came to me. She came to me for a whole bunch of other issues having to do with her business and a milestone birthday and her partner of many years leaving her. But weaving through everything she told me was this self-image that was extremely negative and had been with her since she was a kid. So what we found was that as we cleared out all that negative debris, she got more energy because she had been trying to feed her bad feelings with food and by not doing stuff. And the more she started to see, oh my God, I actually am lovable. Oh my God, I actually am worthy. Then the less she needed to try to fill that hole with food. And the better she felt, the more energy she had. And one day she said, Marcy, I just started walking this week. It wasn't because I had a diet plan or a workout plan. It was because I just felt good and I felt like taking a walk. So that connection between the mind and body works both ways. Absolutely.
It's so powerful. And it doesn't take much to finally kind of snap out of it and realize, my gosh, it's really it's easy. It sometimes just takes guidance from outside, like from Marcy McDonald. And so what I want to do, Marcy, I think we're at a very good time to let people know more about what it is you do in a more detailed manner. Like, what are the kind of people we could see from your bio that you work with entrepreneurs as one. Do you work with men, women, any age groups, corporations, maybe? What is your sweet spot or your target client? And then number two, what is it you do for them? Is it coaching? Is it monthly? Is it, what's the duration, those kind of things, whatever details you want to include. And then number 3, if you have any more unbelievably juicy stories about how you've helped somebody change their life, I would love to hear that as well. So I know that's a lot of questions, but I'm going to be quiet and let you take it from here.
Sure, great. Hopefully my big brain, beautiful brain will remember all of them. So wait, what was the first one? What do? I work mostly with women. I do work with men as well, because men have big, beautiful brains as well. And everything I do works for them. But I've mostly been working with women who are entrepreneurs or women in leadership who've already done extremely well in their businesses, but have begun to notice that they actually never feel good enough. So for entrepreneurs, very often the challenge is they're not getting the work done. The reason is that they're feeling negative about themselves in some ways. And when you feel negative about yourself, it gets in the way of everything you do. Everything. It's the same with people, interestingly enough, who have succeeded at a very high level, but their negative thoughts are still getting in the way of what they're doing and feeling personally. So they hit this rut. They start trying to prove themselves by doing more and more, by always being the one who volunteers, even if it means that they're the only person at the office. So they end up feeling exhausted. Well, the same thing happens with entrepreneurs. They feel exhausted because they get on this treadmill of saying, I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm an imposter. I doubt myself. They don't have focus. So the same thing happens whether you look like you're a success, whether you've been kicking butt on the outside and succeeding, but not feeling good on the inside, or you're beginning a business and you're struggling on the inside, so you're not yet showing up as a success in the terms you had hoped to succeed. It's all the same thing, Brian. That's why I can work with both groups. Again, largely women, because women are usually readier to do this kind of work. I mean, that's just a fact. When I've worked with men who are ready to do it, we blow it up. It's fantastic. But you have to be ready and willing and able to say, hey, I've got some feelings here that aren't doing the work for me they should be doing. What can we do about it? And there's a lot you can do about it. So I think of the work that I do as practical mindfulness. So we were talking before the show a little bit about the woo-woo-ness of mindset, right? And for me, at first, I thought, yeah, I can kind of believe in that, but if it's not practical, I'm not going for it. But I worked with a brilliant professor, Professor Daniel Kehoe, who had written a book about the neuroscience of the brain and how it works. And he asked me to help him turn it into a course, because I used to create online courses with people. And when I read it, I suddenly understood, I've got an emotional brain and I've got a rational brain, and they are not the same being whatsoever. They're separate. Which one is in charge? I always thought it was the rational brain, but in the time you just blinked, the emotional brain processed a quadrillion bits of information. So hello, it's the one in charge. And the rational mind, which is processing 64 bits of information a second, says, hey, emotional mind's got this, it's on charge. So that's one of the things that I do with people when I work with them, is I help them understand what's going on in their brain, partly so they understand this isn't woo-woo, partly so they understand it's practical, partly so they understand there is a way to change that's real. It's not a belief system. We can build in nano steps change, starting incrementally and stacking change so we change your habits. But I do something very unusual when I work with my clients, Brian, and that is that I start everybody off with end of life imagining. I worked with someone as an end of life doula who had been given 1 week to live. And his niece called me and said, my uncle's dying. He has 1 week to live. He's loaded with regrets. And is there anything you can do about that? you're an end of life doula, mindset coach. What do we do? So I said, okay, I'll talk to him. And she held the computer in front of him because he was literally on his deathbed. He was too weak to even hold it himself. And I asked him to tell me his life story. When he was done, and I just held him in that container of deep listening, just respectful listening. At the end, I said, would you mind if I told you my perspective of your life? And he said, no, go ahead. And I reframed his entire life for him and his family because what I saw was different. He saw someone who had failed. I saw someone who had done the best he could to be a loyal, loving father, husband, uncle. It didn't matter that the things he tried hadn't worked. What mattered was that he tried, that he cared. In that reframing, he came to complete peace about himself and his entire life, which for 80 odd years, he'd been carrying around this burden of believing he was worthless, that he wasn't good enough. Flipped that narrative around and he came to peace and he died at peace a few days later. That made me realize that no one should die with regrets and no one has to. And so I front load my programs with what I call numbering your days, where we look at your life and imagine that today is your last day. And what does that mean for you? And we do a number of exercises so that we can really get real about the urgency of living every single day as if it were your last day and clarifying what truly matters to you. And very often it's not what you think matters. Then that becomes the centerpiece for the work we do together because you know what matters and you realize you don't have forever to fix this stuff. You only have today. Saying you'll do it later, you'll take care of it later. Yeah, I'll start exercising and eating better next week. This is my last week, my last cigarette, or I'm going to start my business. Yeah, pretty soon. I'm putting all the things together. That is believing in someday. Someday is the same as no day.
Yes.
So we start all our programs with that, and then we start layering on change. We work into shifting your self-talk. Now that you have the urgency of knowing that you can't keep living like this and the clarity about what really matters, you're ready to say, what am I telling myself? And that's what I hear for you. I am able to hear because I deeply listen what you're saying to yourself that you can't hear yourself because it's like that washing machine that you just run into and drop all your laundry over the floor. You're just used to it. You're used to beating yourself up. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
You're used to thinking that you're not good enough in some level. That is what I find with so many people. But now we're able to create new habits of talking to yourself that are true and that arm you so that you don't have to work with me for the rest of your life. I don't want that. Really, I don't. I want to work with you and prepare you to have the tools so that you can keep changing yourself. And so for that reason, I work ideally with people for a 90-day sprint. During 90 days, we have 30 days to identify and break old habits and patterns that aren't working for you. 30 days to reset those patterns with new emotionally healthy habits and patterns of self-talk and behavior and application. 30 more days to imprint that throughout your life in everything you're doing so that it's becoming a habit and a way of being that's completely different. And then you're equipped. We might do a second run if you just want some reinforcement, but really in 90 days, you've got the equipment and you've got the understanding and insight that you really are worthy, that you can believe that you're worthy, and that you can keep changing so that you're living a life that's intentional so that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honoring that intention. And then when you don't make it, you just say, okay, I see that I didn't make it today, or in that last hour, I was really a jerk to that person, or I didn't get to my work. But you know what? I have this moment still, so I'm going to start over without judgment and live in this moment. And that is creating a life where you live without regrets, where you can live with focus, where you can live with energy, where you can be grateful for both the good and the bad things that are going on in your life, because you realize they're all yours. Now, that's how I work with people.
I love it. I love it. And I think everyone who is even thinking maybe I should, if you're that person saying, man, I'm not sure, this sounds like it could be something that works good for me. Well, if that's you, then the answer is yes, it is something that you should reach out to Marcy about. And her website, I want to say this verbally, so for those of you that are just listening on podcast, is selfmasterytransformation.com. And when they go there, Marcy, what is the best way for them to reach out to you? Or if there is another way, let us know what that is. We're not done yet. We're not anywhere near done, because Marcy has a gift to give you, as well as we have a 5-night vacation stay to give away. So don't go anywhere yet, but I'm just trying to find out for those of you that are truly interested in reaching out to this amazing woman and having her help you, like she has helped Anna Williams, who is on here. She's added another comment I'll display here in a moment that will help get you over that nudging question mark in your mind of, should I reach out? The answer is yes. But what's the best way for them to do that, Marcy?
Yeah, jump to the bottom of the page, and there is just a quick thing, a little bit more, where you can just, there you can either get my free guidebook, 7 Steps to Silence Your Inner Critic, and then we can start a conversation. Or if you go a little bit further down the page, there is an invitation to a complimentary coaching call. Really, it's if you want to understand what your blind spots are, we have a half an hour call. And in that time, just book a call with marcy.com. We'll figure out what's blocking you so that you can begin to reach out for the success that's possible for you. Clear away some of the debris.
That is amazing. Let's see. And you also had a gift. And I don't know if it's the same thing. I didn't look at this ahead of time. It's a bit.ly link.
It's this 7 Steps to Silence Your Inner Critic. It's just a guide to get you started. Some people want to talk to you right away. Some people want to get a little bit of information, and this shows a little bit of how I work and things you can start doing today. I mean, for heaven's sakes, don't wait till tomorrow. Download that and start doing something today, or book a call with me, and let's see what's holding you back, because my guess is you don't really know. And knowing is the first step.
And it takes Marcy to help you to extract what that is, and then to help you to right that ship, and then have incredible results like the one and only Anna Williams is having. She said, Marcy has helped me with my business with her knowledge, skills, and wisdom, helped me to develop my speech of a lifetime, my 5.5-year journey, my book called A Stolen Life, A True Diabolical Nightmare Journey. So really had a great, powerful, and positive impact on Anna, got her to move forward and get things done that most likely may not have happened if she had not run across Marcy and been coached by Marcy. So another life change by Marcy McDonald, everybody. Yes. And so we do have another gift to give away. So be sure to go to selfmasterytransformation.com. Scroll down. You'll see what looks like a book. It says 7 Steps to Silence Your Inner Critic. Get that for free. Download that, and then scroll down farther and book a 30-minute consultation with her. It's that button on the bottom left that says schedule a complimentary break through your block session with Marcy. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's on there. And just really take action on this. And I always say this when we have things like this where your personal time is involved, Marcy, and that is to everybody, please treat that time with the absolute utmost respect. She is giving this time of hers away to you. It is her gift to you, and it's highly valued time. Yes, your time is valuable too. Make the most out of it, and go there with the intention of having Marcy help you. Let her ask the questions she's going to ask, listen intently, answer them honestly, and you'll get the results, or at least the beginning of the results that you're looking for. and to see if you're fit to go farther. It's that simple. Is that pretty accurate,
Yeah.
Marcy?
That's perfect. It's a conversation where someone's listening to you in a way that very few people ever get listened to. And it's a chance to shine a flashlight on some things that are going on, and then see if my coaching is a good fit for you, because not every coach is the right fit. You have to mesh. I've got my style. Other people have their styles. I will say that my program's unique because of how I blend things together, but might not be right for you. The point is for you to change. And to do that, you have to take some action.
Okay. Yep. It's deserving. We got to do this again, Marcy. You just have to. Yeah. Dropping bombs of wisdom, smart bombs of knowledge. Marcy McDonald's in the house. So we have another gift, a phenomenal gift to give away. It's an entry, a contest, if you will. And before we do that, though, I wanted to mention to you, Marcy, I like to end every show, because I cannot believe we are at the end. We're right there, with a profound question. I ask this of every guest that I have on the show. And the reason I do is because I found how profound the answers were. I was like, wow, I'm going to do this every show to end it. And the cool thing is it can be just a teeny bit personal, but it's not a big deal. And I know, like everyone else before you, you're going to crush it on the answer, and everyone will get something from it. Guaranteed. I know this just from doing this for a long time. And so before we do that, though, real quick, the giveaway, I promised it. So if you're watching live, you can qualify to win. Write this down. Do not go there now. Don't worry. When the show is over, we are monitoring the entries and we will choose a winner. So don't worry about that. You have several minutes, plenty of time after the show's over to enter to win. How do you do that? It's coming up on the screen right now. You go to ryp.im/vacation. Yes, that is a web address. ryp.im/vacation. Lowercase, all letters. ryp.im/vacation. Write that down. Don't go there now. Hold on. Hang on. And then after the show's over, go there and enter to win. And we will announce the winner on the social media platforms, major social media platforms, and to you, whoever the winner is. I hope you win, whoever's watching this right now. I know that's all of you. I hope you all win, although only one of you will. But that's the way it goes. And we just want you all to win. All right. It will be a random draw. Now for the question of the night. Oh, this is amazing. And so here's the wonderful thing about this question, Marcy, and that is there is no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. In fact, the exact opposite is true. The only correct answer is yours. And if it takes you a microsecond to come up with the answer, or if it takes you 30 seconds to come up with the answer, that's fine too, because it's your answer. It's just right. That's the only thing that makes it personal is that it's unique to you. That's it. So we're not getting into your personal life in any way, shape, or form. It's just, this is you, your essence. And it's an amazing, profound question with all that wonderful lead up. Are you ready?
I am. It's quite the lead up. I don't know if I should don a mask or.
Oh no, you're going to shine. I know it. I've done this many times. This is a wonderful question, and you are going to knock it out of the park because it is you. It is true to you. Are you ready?
I am ready. I feel like, is it door number 1 or door number 2?
They're all the perfect one. No matter which one you choose, it is the right one. Here we go. All right. Marcy McDonald, how do you define success?
Well, look at that close up while I figure out how I define success. I define success by knowing really what your intentions are and meeting them at the best you can every single day, and not judging yourself when you don't, because you won't. But if you keep on trotting along, aiming to do the best you can, that's success, really. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marcy McDonald, you nailed it. There is no wrong answer. Is now you know why. And here's the really interesting thing. And I've asked this for almost 4 years, once a week. No two people yet have answered this the same way. It's unbelievable. It's phenomenal. And I'll guarantee you this, Marcy, if I were to come back to you 6 months from today, your answer might be completely different. That's another beautiful thing about that question, because, when I was 20, success meant something that I don't care about now that I'm 58. I don't care about it at all. I wanted, the money, the cars, the things and stuff like that most 20-year-old men would want. And, the gorgeous bride, I got that. But yes, I got that one. Woo, still. And it's interesting, though. Success changes as we change our definition of. And so with your permission, sometime down the road, I'm going to take every one of these answers I've gotten over the years and compile it into a collaboration book by that very title. How do you define success? And so I'll reach out to you at that time. And because I learn a lot by that one question from other people. What do they find most important? Here's the other great thing before we close. Not a single person had their answer focused on anything to do with money. Yes, that's what I did. Some would mention it, but that was not the focus of it. Was more liberation, what money got them. The end result was different. It was never money centric is the best way to put it. And very few mention money at all. Like you did. You did not mention it at all. I wrote it down. I mean, oh, by the way, everyone, I said, write notes. There's my notes. I've been getting writer's cramp myself. I've been dutifully taking them. Marcy, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are an amazing woman making incredible changes in people's lives. And I hope you continue to do more in any way I can help you going forward. I'm saying this publicly. You let me know, reach out. You have my number. You literally have my cell number, and reach out anytime you need assistance if you want it. If you want an opinion, if you want me just to be quiet, then you don't need to text me or reach out. That's okay too. I'm easy either way. But
well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, and enjoy your new area where you're living and your family. I know where you're living. I'm just not saying publicly, just in case. And good luck. I will say, no, I won't go there. I was going to say something about where I live in a not so positive light. But anyway, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And also, I want to ask and tell everyone that's watching and listening right now is please do two things before we call it a night. Please make a commitment to go and serve more people and change lives, just like Marcy is doing. And number two, and most importantly, above all else, everybody, please be blessed. That's it for this show. On behalf of the amazing Marcy McDonald, I am Brian Kelly, the host of the Mind Body Business Show. Until next time, we will see you again. Go crush it and serve people, everybody. That's it for now. So long. Take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.